you got to know Bowie very well, too, which is
No.
weird. You didn't? Because I thought that Bowie was interested in comedy.
Yes.
And he became obsessed with Stephen Wright and wanted to know about Stephen Wright.
It happened
So he
once.
came to you.
No, here's what happened. So I was doing, I was co-hosting this show. It was a comedy show over in London, but it also ran on the Comedy Channel, which turned into Comedy Central here.
Right.
It was called London Underground here and Paramount City over there. But I would bring over comedian friends of mine as the American comics, and they would have usually a British music act as well.
Right.
You know, some great acts like Sinead O'Connor was there, Elvis Costello was there, and usually what happened with the musical acts is that they didn't really hang around with the comedians. None of us were famous yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they just came and did a sound check, and then when it was time for them to go on camera and sing their song, they sang their song, and then they split. So I saw Bowie was like, whatever, the fourth week.
Yeah. And what stage was Bowie in? Was he like a...
He was Tin Machine.
Oh, okay.
So this is 1991. And I'm a Bowie freak. So I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck what happens. I got to meet Bowie at some point in this afternoon, right? Even if they tell me not to go in an area and he's in
It's such a weird thing. Like you don't want to be doing that. It's kind of creepy, but you can't help yourself. It's Bowie, and now you got an opportunity.
I was gay for Bowie.
Go ahead. Hey, we all were.
And I think my wife would have understood.
Right.
So you had to go. It was an old West End theater in London, so you had to go outside to smoke in an alley. So
that smoking introduces you to more people.
So I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I was still in the process of trying to figure out, like, when am I going to meet him? How am I going to do it? I didn't know he was in the building yet.
Right.
And I looked up, and he was literally right here.
Right in front of
so
your
a
face.
little alley. He's right here. And he's like, hey, man, you got a light. And Howard, I swear to God, I panicked, but I was also like, I've got to say my stuff because it's not going to last long.
Right.
So I lit his cigarette, and as soon as the cigarette came out of his mouth, before I could say anything, he went, so you're friends, because Stephen Wright and Goldthwait had already made it. He goes, you're friends with Stephen Wright. I heard you went to college with him. And I was like, oh, yeah. And he's like, I met him, but I don't know what he's really like. What's he really like?
Right.
So I was like, wow, I'm in with Bowie. I'm so fucking in. I go,
he's hot for Stephen Wright.
Yeah, I'm like, Stephen, blah, 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 blah. He was like, interesting. Now, what about Bobcat Goldthwait? Because I had him flown in for one of my gigs, and so I'm like, Bobcat. I knew Bobcat. Blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as I finished telling him the Bobcat thing, he goes, very interesting. Somebody goes, all right, we're all set for you, Mr. Bowie. And he goes, all right, mate, see you later. Puts his cigarette out, walks away. I see him on stage that night, never see the man again.
That was the whole encounter.
I was like, you motherfucker.
And what was your agenda, though? What was your real... I mean,
What did you
wanted to
plan to
just
say?
say, dude.
Right.
Like
your music,
Stones, you, Beatles. I mean, that's how I survived until fucking punk rock and the Clash and the Ramones came in.
That's right.
By the way, the most boring fucking thing you could say to David Bowie, what everybody else says, oh my God, you're my hero.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, great. Yeah,
Fuck
right.
you.
Yeah, I wrote a song about that.
Yeah.